Good evening. I'm Bob Cecilio, founder of the Queen Psychic Club and your host on Psychic Awakening. Tonight, we have with us a very special guest, George Bien. Good evening, George.
Hi, Bob. It's great to be here.
George, this is like payback. I was on your show,
Right.
and now you're on my show, and we had a very interesting discussion. George, what do you do in the real world besides appear on cable shows?
Okay. Of course, I appear at cable shows. I communicate. I do my best to communicate people and, let's say, give them a message to empower them. So,
Do you have a title or a label?
well, people call me a hypnotist.
A hypnotist.
Yeah,
Look
right.
into my eye.
One of those. Yeah.
Oh,
So better watch out.
I mean, between a hypnotist and a psychic, we got a show going over here. George, how are they connected?
Well, hypnosis basically does get one in touch with his intuitive abilities, and being a psychic is getting in touch with intuition.
Definitely.
So it's a question of getting in touch with that subconscious, unconscious, inner creative element. And with hypnosis, it's a direct access to that. So hence hypnosis helps a person become more intuitive. Hence hypnosis can help a person become more psychic.
Well, let's talk about my favorite subject,
Okay.
meditation.
Uh-huh.
What is the connection between hypnosis, if there is one, between hypnosis and meditation? And if it's not a connection, similarities.
Okay. If you talk about traditional meditation was looking to create a passive state of mind.
Okay.
Hypnosis is actually an active state of mind. So you're going to get a lot of beta activity in hypnosis. They say you're supposed to go into alpha state and hopefully sometimes into theta, but you do get a lot of beta messages in hypnosis.
Beta is the level we're on right
Very
now.
conscious, yeah.
Right
Very-
now.
very
You and I
conscious
are in
level.
beta.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm an alpha.
Okay.
An alpha beta. But the aspect is to be able to get ourselves to lower the frequency to that degree, but yet at the same time there are beta messages going on constantly. So our conscious mind really, see in hypnosis there's so many misconceptions. People feel that your conscious mind disappears, you're not aware of things. The conscious mind is always an
there.
observer, and it's always a protector. So at any time, let's say there's a danger or something that happens, you want to snap out of the situation that you're in into the, let's say, that peaceful moment, you're out of it totally, completely, and fully. You're always in control. And that's the essence of hypnosis. If anything, it gives people the control they've been lacking back.
Okay. I agree with you.
Okay.
And we end the show there?
Yeah, we can end the show.
Let's go. Let's stretch a little. To go to a hypnotist, he has to put you in a relaxed state.
Okay. He doesn't have to do anything. What he is basically, or she, is a facilitator, a catalyst. The person always hypnotizes him or herself.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis.
Okay.
And a person just acts as a guide. Now, hypnosis is not a therapy to say, okay, we're going to hypnotize you and we're going to do some work on you. That's not therapy. Hypnosis is simply the catalyst of the facilitator. And whatever therapy a person is utilizing while the hypnotic state is being, let's say, used, is facilitated. That's the only aspect with hypnosis. It creates anything, it makes everything easier and faster.
Psychics channel energy, channel messages, or lift their energies. You said you go to a quiet, calm state. Did I understand you correctly?
You can.
You can.
Uh-huh.
Where is it best to work with hypnosis?
Okay, the best, you see, we talk about super learning. Ostringer and Shorter book, Super Learning, the very famous book. And what they were doing is basically listening to music from the Baroque era, the Largos. A certain beat was approximately 60 beats per minute. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. And by listening to this type of music and repeating certain words in different languages, they were able to accelerate their learning capacity. So likewise, if we able to slow our minds down to that degree and relate on a certain, approximately 60 beats a minute, or even slower, we're able to assimilate and learn much more quickly and change. Because all change happens on that unconscious, subconscious, inner creative level. All change.
How does this relate to dreams?
Well, dreams can be very hypnotic, and dreams are very much our healers. Dreams oftentimes vent and they parallel what's going on in our lives. They mirror life for us. So if somebody's having a problem with another individual, oftentimes in a relationship, let's say, they will dream about this individual. Because dreams are our natural psychologists, our natural psychiatrists, our natural therapists. So it relates a great deal to dreams.
Okay. In psychic phenomena, we talk about dreams and intuition being the basis of that every person is psychic because everyone does this. You were mentioning, and I have never heard this before, about this beat. What did you call this?
Well, basically, it's a certain beat, the speed of approximately 60 beats a minute.
Okay. Now, my experience in meditation, and I believe meditation is the basis of all psychic phenomena. to lift your abilities, to get in touch, to read energies and spirits. I never heard that expression you used before, but that's why we live and we learn. Now, we call it vibration. Now, the Native Americans did drum beats and all this. The whirling dervish did this to increase their momentum, their abilities. But I was listening very intently when you said that, because what we do is when we meditate, we lift our vibration or change our vibration, our pulse beat. And as this slows down, I think it was James Van Prague, a very famous psychic as far as communicating with people who have crossed over, he said the spirit energies speak so rapidly that he has to change his vibration so they will match, just like radio waves and frequencies that people are broadcast on. He has to lift his vibrations and energies to attune to that message. So what I just learned tonight is that you are very definitely relating to a psychic phenomenon when you change this beat. So when we meditate, we change our vibration, true, to relax, but then when you relax the way I do it, you get so relaxed that you really are comfortable and you're tuning out from all noises around you. Then you start listening inward for that other voice that could not be heard when all this was going on. So then you have to lift your vibrations. And in my meditation, for the viewing audience, in my meditation, what I do is I relax, just as you said, and then when I reach to a certain point, I reverse it, and I start to go upward. And as I go higher and higher and higher, then I can touch with the spirit that is above us. When I go inward, I look for my answers that are definitely within, but when I don't communicate, I go outward. I just wanted to share that with you.
Well, that's a good point. And even, because I do a number of things on relationship counseling, I do seminars on finding your ideal mate. We call them soulmate, but a soulmate does not have to be the person who's going to be with you for all your life. It doesn't have to be a good person for you. Just somebody you know on a soul level. Who knocked your lights out one time, and do it again this time. But the thing is, if you want to reach people on a higher level, you have to raise your vibration to that higher level. Because if you're vibrating at like 60 cycles or something, how are you going to reach somebody at 400 cycles? You're not going to. So you have to raise that. And it's a very good way, what you're talking about. Be able to get down, meditate, relax, let go, and then raise it. Because it's about energy. It's all about energy. And hypnosis is about energy also.
The vibration you said now, I'm very into energy. I lecture, when I give my lecture, how we are all energy. And I've read up where before the electronic age, everything is electromagnetic. Everything is electromagnetic. And that's the energy that we have. But because of what we've developed with electronically, we have changed the vibration of the earth. And that's, someone had asked me in a previous show, why is there so much anger and destruction? Because we have been being bombarded with this electromagnetic energy that our body is responding negatively to it. And we don't realize it. But you take the kids watching television, hearing this loud music all the time. This affects them, not only from what they hear, but their body is sensing this negative energy, not radioactive in the sense of uranium, but radiation. Radiation.
Well, just by having an electric clock next to where you sleep, that's going to affect you.
Georgia, we're hitting on something. I've been reading about this radiation energy, and just last night I went through putting cobalt blue over my microwave and over my television and over my computer to reduce the negative energy that's emitted. But you asked on this show that I did with you on your program, this was supposed to be Christ consciousness and peace, and everything is angry. Why? Because this is being bombarded. We are being bombarded with this negative energy, this radiation. So what we can do is try to reduce it. So then when it's reduced, you are calm. And when you are calm, you are peaceful.
You're calm, you're peaceful, then you're projecting a calmness, peacefulness. Hence, you'll be attracting more of a calmness and peacefulness.
Like attracts like.
Why is it a certain person will go in a certain situation in a certain part of town that's not considered the most lovable part of town, and one person gets raped or gets hurt or gets mugged, another person goes there and does not. It just walks through peacefully and calmly, and nobody touches the person because they're sending out a certain kind of signal. That I am.
No one understands it, but it happens. We understand it because we're of this like mind, and this is what we do with psychic phenomenon: is to let people be of like mind and share this. What I've learned, I want to share with you, and when you've learned, you're sharing with your viewing audience.
Exactly.
And with this, we are creating our own little ripple effect into the universe. to help heal.
So that's why it's important when people talk about hypnosis to understand the aspect of metaphysical hypnosis and using the essence of light and using the essence of spirit and having themselves enveloped in the light and in the spirit and allowing the spirit to be inside and to project outside.
Very interesting. I've never heard the term before.
Yeah.
Tell me about metaphysical.
Well, basically, it's simply not unlike, and it parallels very much any other type of metaphysical types of studies or learnings, except you're utilizing them hypnotically. So you're getting in touch. You see, hypnosis is probably the fastest means of change. The reason it is because, as I said before, all change happens on that inner creative level, subconscious level. And this is a direct access. We're bypassing the evaluative factor. I mean, people can give you some definitions that are very academic of hypnosis. What is hypnosis? Well, hypnosis is essentially a psychophysiological state of aroused, attentive, receptive focal concentration with a corresponding diminution of peripheral awareness. And that's academia. What does this mean? I mean, sure, we're not so concerned about the periphery, but let's put it on simple terms. Even Webster's dictionary defines it in a way that's not the way it should be defined. I mean, a sleep-like condition, it's anything but a sleep-like condition. Psychically induced, usually by another individual, where the person responds with certain limitations. Where are the limitations? If you want to respond,
no limitations.
Yeah, you're going to respond.
No limitations.
So even our dictionaries are bogged down with misinformation about the hypnotic process. So metaphysical hypnosis, if a person's coming from a metaphysical framework, a metaphysical reality, a metaphysical belief system, hence they will be automatically experiencing metaphysical hypnosis. And if the hypnotist is very spiritually oriented, he or she will be exercising metaphysical hypnosis.
And what I heard you say there that I am a true believer in is the limiting beliefs that we have. I can't. I mean, there's a whole program, neuro-linguistic program.
NLP.
NLP, that, removing the limitations. We would limit ourselves with everything we do.
See, the whole essence of NLP is a question of being able to model excellence. Before we had the humanistic school of psychology, what the psychologists were studying were people who were debilitated. So what did they learn to do? Deal with people who had problems, and that's it. Why not study somebody who was excellent and who's doing magnificent things on his or her life and model that? So when Abraham Maslow and that whole school came about, they were starting to model people who were excellent. And let's self-actualize. And still today, even to raise the level of this world to self-actualization is a chore.
This is a great opening. Who should we model after?
Somebody we appreciate, somebody we look after. But
someone we looked up to.
The ultimate model is Christ.
Right, Christ.
Yeah.
This is what the problem with the world is today. They model. I remember when I grew up, a couple of years older than you, and I grew up, we went to the movies. If the guy was well-dressed and suave, I wanted to be well-dressed and suave. Today, everybody dresses like a bum. So what do these kids have to model after? Everybody's smoking pot, chewing gum, cursing. Who do they model after? They've lost the role model.
That's the problem. Because the whole essence of the screen, the elegance of the screen has been lost.
Right.
And you talked about the movie stars, the Cary Grant. And here's a person who had
Charles Boyer.
Charm, Charles Boyer. Elegance, charm, sophistication, poise, dignity. Today it's, hey, man, yo, yeah, baby, hey.
We lowered the requirements.
Exactly.
They've done it on the police force.
Yeah.
They've done it in the army. Instead of raising the standard, they've lowered it.
In the colleges.
Who is they? The powers that be. The ones that figure it's easier to do it this way, that people don't have to raise. It's the law of gravity. It's easier to sink down than it is to raise up.
Sure it is.
Say, let's give them that. Let's go with gravity.
They're looking economically. I mean, this world is controlled by, 500 to 1,000 families. They control the whole economy of this whole planet.
Yeah, they don't want any competition.
Yeah, they make the decisions.
Yeah,
they tell you how much you're going to pay in your mortgage. They're going to say how much this costs. They're going to
Maybe we could hypnotize them into giving us some of the money. But money isn't the answer, right? I mean,
no, it's not money.
Hypnotism. What are we trying to do when we go for hypnosis?
People are looking to change. And you see, what people in this country especially are looking for is microwave hypnosis.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification, man.
It's like, I want that piece of candy or right now.
Yeah, and if you don't give it to me, I'll shoot you, I'll steal you.
Exactly.
This is instant gratification. Get back to psychic.
Okay.
People say, how can you become psychic? Well, there's no instant gratification. You have to work at it, just like everything else. You have to learn to meditate. My greatest experience, I spoke to a person about meditation and automatic writing, which is another sense of communication with spirit. And she says, I tried it once and it didn't work. You tried it once and it didn't work. I mean, what do you want to do? Sit down at the piano once and be Beethoven? I mean, if you were Beethoven, it may work, but you're not. So you have to work and practice. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. Yeah. I'm sure if you want to learn how to ride a bike, you get on it, you fall down, you get up and you start over again. People come to me at the club or when I have a show and they say, I want to learn how to meditate. And they'll take a class or two. Oh, I tried it. It didn't work. People study meditation for years. For years they'll study it. There is no quick fix. Because we have been conditioned for all our lives to be what we are today. We have to. One of the psychics at my club gave a lecture, and the most profound thing he said, to learn, first we have to unlearn. We have to unlearn all the garbage we've been putting in our head.
It's like Yoda. You have to unlearn what you have learned.
Okay, me. It's the same. All the disciplines are similar. All the teachings are there. The Eastern cultures and the Western cultures, they all have similar beliefs.
They do.
You take the Native Americans. I mean, we called them savages. But they were more advanced than we were in certain areas. Yes, we were more scientific. But they respected the earth. They respected nature.
They were more spiritual.
More spiritual.
And that's why a lot of these customs, the Native American customs, are becoming more and more into the light now.
Yes.
And now we're finding things. We're looking to the past to find the new. And why is it that we're always looking?
Because everything old is new again.
Yeah.
What goes around comes around.
Exactly.
The answers are here for everybody, but they insist on holding on to certain beliefs. You know, what's new is better. No way. No way what's new is better. Because what happens new is just changing, putting a new coat of paint on it, a new packaging, new improved, it's new in packaging.
Hey, with music, they look to the past to find something now that they can sell. They're always doing that, always doing that. It's like a new hit record. And when you really examine what that new hit record is about, I'm a musician also, so I really follow the music. And I look and I say, look what this was. This came from this society or this culture, this kind of a thing. It's like when Eastern music became so popular here with Ravi Shankar, all the sitar players.
Right.
All of a sudden, we're patterning some of the American music based on that. And it became so new here. Meanwhile, it's ancient, 6,000 years old, 5,000 years old.
And as much as it's old or new, whichever you want, which label you should give it, there's always a similarity.
Yeah.
There is someone in Europe who's tuning into the universe for some bit of information, and he's creating it in Europe. And I always say this with the radio. It's my favorite topic, the radio. Somebody in Europe was developing a radio, and somebody in the United States was developing a radio. But Marconi got there first with the patent. But the information is out there.
Yeah.
And how do we tap into it? And evidently, hypnosis is one of the ways we can learn to open our mind to do this.
As a matter of fact, a number of psychics have come to me and do come to me just to enhance their psychic skills. And I remember one time I would say to them, well, listen, I'm not even psychic. Why are you calling me for this? They said, well, first of all, you are psychic.
Because we're all psychic.
Yeah, but we're not going to go into an explanation of that, George. However, I believe hypnosis can enhance that. And when I realized that, I said, they made sense. And then when I worked with them, they did enhance the psychic skills because they were able to even trust themselves more.
Magic word.
Trust.
If you don't trust, if you don't believe, trust and believe, nothing happens. If you don't believe you can ride a bike, you're never going to ride that bike, no matter how many times you get up there and pedal. You have to trust and allow. And this is what psychic phenomena really is based on. I mean, we all have the ability to do something, but do we allow ourselves to do it? I lecture on psychic empowerment, and empowerment is giving yourself permission, allowing yourself to do it. You can take all the classes in the world, but if you don't practice and allow it to happen, allow yourself to do it, and trust you can do it, it don't work.
That's where you get the professional students who are just studying and studying and studying. They're not ready. Or they're going to be ready tomorrow. No, not yet. Maybe next week. Maybe next year.
They're not ready to take that first step on their own. They don't believe they can do it.
Yeah. You see, that's where hypnosis really comes in, because it really changes belief systems. So somebody said, give me a simple way I can understand hypnosis. And I'd say this. The bumblebee. Now, the body's too heavy for its wings to fly. I mean, it's been scientifically proven
it can't do it.
It cannot fly. But the bumblebee doesn't know that.
That's right.
That's how hypnosis works.
Okay.
You're going to know something. Because if you don't know your limitation, it's like I remember I closed the show once as saying, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? And think of the possibilities of that. And people are so afraid of taking risks. And I always think about risks. I think about the story of a lobster when I think about taking risks. Now, the lobster, of course, has this heavy shell on its back. And as long as it has that shell on its back, it cannot grow, it cannot expand. So periodically, it has to shed that shell in order for it to grow or expand. Now, of course, when it sheds the shell, all it has as protection is a pink membrane of skin. Just this light skin, so it can be bashed against the rock and killed or eaten by another fish.
Right.
But that lobster is willing to
take that chance.
Take that chance just for it to grow So you don't have to take put your life on the line, but there's no growth without occasional risk.
Without risk, there is no reward.
Yeah.
You know, we all know these sayings, but do we believe them?
Probably.
It works for you, but don't work for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Why? I mean,
Yeah.
what is one person so
They're
different?
lucky, you see.
They're lucky. They always justify it. I mean, this is what happens. I get back to psychic. People go to a psychic and they become psychoholics, junkies. They always go to the psychic. The psychic knows what's good for me. This guy knows what's good for me. He's only telling you what you already know. Okay? He's bringing it out. So you have to say, hey, I don't need that psychic. I can do it myself. And you go within and lift your energies to get in touch with the universe. They'll tell you the same thing that the psychic is doing. We can all do it. Why do we want to do it?
Why? First of all, it seems to be that this planet has been filled with lazy people. And the reason is this, so many things are done for us with the essence of a microwave. So let's put it in a microwave, it's done this quickly. Let mom do it, let dad do it, let Joe do it, let Mary do it, let my wife do it, let my lover do it, whatever the case may be, let my cousin do it, let my uncle do it. Why don't you do it? And that's the tough thing. It's tough being in, you see, some of us live in the periphery, we live in the bleachers. And the thing is, even when you see these people, and I love these things, I see people watching the ball games, and they're screaming and yelling, yeah, rah, 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 go, 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 ball, oh, he got the goal, or he caught the ball, or he got the strike, or the home run, rather. Now, meanwhile, what are they doing? They're drinking beer, eating popcorn, or potato chips.
They're living through someone else.
Yeah.
And this is the problem. They look to other people because they feel, they sense the victory that the ball player is really having. So they're giving their power over to, I'm not a sportsman, I wouldn't pay $10 or $50 to see a game.
No, I wouldn't either.
Why would I do that? I would rather empower myself to do something. If I really wanted to play that game, I would be there playing that game or take that music lesson or that class in hypnotism.
Well, it's the same thing with music. I mean, with movies. You go to a movie and you're living the life through the character. That's where your adventure is.
That's hypnosis.
Yeah, that's why some people become couch potatoes.
Right.
Either couches in the movies, or seat potatoes in the movies houses, or seat potatoes in the concerts, or anything else, rather than being out there enjoying life, experiencing. Yeah. They're afraid to. They're not only afraid to experience it. They're too lazy. Yeah.
Or frightened.
It takes work.
It takes work. Effort.
The
effort. Yeah. Getting back to psychic phenomena about hypnosis. One of the things we talk about is channeling. And to get to a higher level of consciousness. Is there a higher level of consciousness or how do you obtain a higher level of consciousness with hypnosis?
Well, when I do a therapy with a client, and sometimes when I do it also with a group of people, I usually end it with a great deal of affirmations that I give them. Now, with those affirmations, they're certainly not coming from me. I let myself go into a certain space and I just tune into the person. And I say, within you there is a magnificence, within you there's a greatness. Begin trusting their greatness. Allow it to come to the forefront, because after all, you've been living life a certain way. Everything that you've come to this point in your life simply came in because of what you've let into your mind. And now your mind is clearing, it's opening to allow the magnificence to truly shine forward. After all, people strive for excellence, but why strive for excellence where there is greatness within you? So allow that greatness to shine. As a matter of fact, allow yourself to glow and magnify in such a way where you radiate with the highest of stars. As a matter of fact, glow and shine brighter than that of the highest of stars. And I'm not even talking, I don't even know what I'm saying.
That's right, because it's coming through.
It's
coming through. You're open to your clear channel.
Exactly, so that's what I do hypnotically too.
The show is coming near the end. There's one subject, I don't know if we'll have enough time to really talk about it. Past life regression. Notice I saved the best for last.
Yeah.
How do you feel about past life regression?
Let's put it this way. There has been so much evidence, even with the clients I have had, where it seems so real. I mean, I believe in past lives, because that's my belief system.
Okay, I do also.
Yeah, but whether I did or not, the evidence is coming so much more and more to the forefront that they're really, I mean, no one can say definitely, but I'll tell you, it definitely looks very realistic.
Let's see if we can sound like Deepak Chopra.
Okay.
What is your reality?
My reality is what I create, because everything to me is a hallucination.
Okay.
It's simply my own belief system. I mean, this is not solid, yet it appears solid to me.
Right. It depends how closely the molecules are.
Exactly.
Okay. Truth.
Truth for me is, again, my hallucination. Because truth for me can be truth for someone else. They're totally different. That could be brown, that could be gray.
Your belief is your truth.
Yeah.
So if you believe in reincarnation, it's your truth.
It's my truth, my reality.
It's amazing. At the club, the two mates of all psychic phenomena, in my eyes, this is my belief system. Again, every psychic has their own point of view, usually based on a fundamental belief system of karma, reincarnation, past lives. They all go together. And the God force, which created all of us. The karma and past lives, without, I mean, why would you fear dying if you know you're going to come back again? I think fear of death is the biggest deterrent we have.
It's a big one.
The big one. And this is what affects many people positively and negatively. Many countries believe in the past life, so they have no fear. And not that it's a pleasant thought, but your Japanese pilots during the Second World War, with the kamikaze pilots, they have no fear of death.
Because they felt that this would be their salvation.
That's it. They're going to go. So it's time to close the show, George.
Oh.
It goes fast when you have a fast half hour.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. And in closing, is there anything you'd like to say to the viewing audience that you haven't already discussed, that you really want to drive a point home with right now?
Well, basically, believe in yourself. Begin accepting. I mean, allow yourself the mistakes you made. You made them, fine. Allow them to be learning experiences. We're all learning. We've all made mistakes. If you haven't made mistakes, you would not have grown. And the whole aspect is, it's in here. Whether you go to a hypnotist, whether you go to a psychic, whether you go to a counselor, whatever the case may be, the only healing that's really done is the healing that you do. That's the message.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, Bob.
Pleasure having you here as a guest on my show, and it was a pleasure being a guest on your show.
It was great to have you.
Okay, and so with that, I would like to tell our viewing audience, this program is brought to you through the efforts of the Queen Psychic Club. The Queen Psychic Club meets the first Wednesday of every month at the Flushing Free Synagogue, 4160 Casino Boulevard in Flushing. The meetings start promptly at 7:30 and usually end about 9:30. There's people of like mind, like yourself, who want to find out more about what motivates them to get through life, to get over the difficulties, a little peace, a little comfort, a little hope. There's a place where we can reach out and serve and share and seek and help each other and help ourselves. That's the most important thing, to face this life, which is not always easy. And you can learn many interesting subjects, and we'll have many interesting guests. Hopefully, and I'm psychic, I'm going to tell you, I sense that George Bien is going to be a guest speaker at the club. And that's an affirmation on that, confirmation. Okay, so keep watching the program and stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. Thank you for watching.